Howdy, everybody, and welcome to Retro Repair Roundup, whichever flipping episode this is. Yeah, that's it. Okay, bye. No, seriously.
Hello.
There's hi, Mike. Tonight we are just we're doing a really easy, simple hangout tonight with our wonderful guests. One is going to be Mike of Mike's Mess, who is below me in our wonderful square here of the Brady Bunch. And also, we will be having Bruce of Branchus Creations stop by later tonight. If we remember correctly, he is in Australia, and it's 11 on Monday there. So he's like doing work stuff or something, like some sort of like responsible.
He doesn't know how to work.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly.
He's fat and lazy like I am.
So he'll show up whenever he'll show up. Also missing is Ron. I'm not sure where he is tonight. He just hasn't showed up yet. He'll either show up or he won't. Anyway, so let's talk to Mike. Mike, what's been going on in your world? Hey, actually, before we get started with that, I do want to mention one thing. Remember tonight, everybody, tonight is the episode where we give away the BlueSCSI. But in order for you to know who gets the BlueSCSI, you have to watch till the end because we're giving away at the end. So there we go. Anyway, now go, Mike. Go. Hi.
Hi.
How you been, man?
Oh, I'm just peachy. I'm up to my neck in cats.
Apparently.
Literally.
So you're moved into your new place now, and it looks like it's a better space, honestly. So that's good.
Well, I don't know about that.
More space?
It is a 50-year-old trailer.
Well,
you have to watch where you step over here, or you're going to hit a hole.
I'm sorry,
but hey, one hole out of the whole place isn't too bad. I mean, what are you going to do?
Well, at least your neighbors are at least 20 feet away from you in all directions. So.
Not really. No, my next door neighbor is only about 10 feet away.
Well,
and it's my,
move out and go
my ex-brother-in-law of all people. Luckily, he's made peace with me, so I have no neighbors on the other side. So, and I have no neighbors out back. I live on the end of a dead-end street. So if I want to come over here and turn the music up on my Dell PC back here, it has a real kicking sound system. There's nobody pissed off but me.
Nice.
Maybe the cats, but
Not that you would care if you pissed off anybody anyway. I mean, it's you.
Yeah, true. I mean, I really don't. So, no, I'm finally getting things set up. This is actually the first time I've sat in this room since I moved in and actually streamed. All my other streams that I've done from here have all been out in my dining room is my play area where I have my Mac Studio. So hopefully by the end of the week, I'll have this at least set up to the point where I might actually be able to do something.
Yeah.
Nice. So we might start getting some more live streams from your channel.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not dead yet, contrary to popular belief. I know there's people who probably wish I was, but I'm really not. So I'm sorry to disappoint Steve, but I'm not dead yet.
So you've renamed your channel Mike's Mess. Is this because you're doing a mix of both Mac and non-Mac, or?
Yeah, because it's kind of a mess of everything, to be honest with you. And also everything's just generally a mess.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I have no idea.
No
either.
idea.
None.
Joe, I would love to have a tenth of the space that you have to store stuff, because then I wouldn't need to pay $160 a month for a storage shed. Yeah. Although I do have a big room off the side here that I'm going to be Steve and I are going to set up as my storage space for my computer, so I can have all my computers here.
That's
nice.
Good. That's cool.
So,
and will you be able to get rid of the storage shed then at that point?
Yep. I'd like to, right, but probably not going to happen. But my sister wants to take over some of it.
Okay.
And she's talking about paying at least half the rent. So, if I just keep household stuff in there, I'll be okay. I really want all the computers and electronic gizmos and gadgets and everything else here, though.
Right.
So they're accessible. So
you're not going to be asking random people in the retro community for money for your storage unit and then lie what you're using the money about.
By the way,
That's an inside joke.
Yeah, I don't think Mike is a joke. So.
Mike is not aware.
You don't get that.
We'll explain.
no, I'm going to say I've never asked anybody for anything for my storage.
You're not aware. Yeah.
Sorry, I've been out of it for like the last 6 months. I have not a freaking clue what's going on anywhere.
That's good.
I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I've been so out of it. You know,
A lot of drama.
yeah, like these guys, like you guys have been talking about this dude that scammed everybody. I have no flipping idea what you guys are even talking about.
Yeah,
I was
that's
like,
it.
when the hell did this happen?
Well,
So-
we kicked the scammer's butt, and that's all that matters.
Yep.
So,
Good.
He's a goner.
thumbs up. So,
But I am going to VCF East next month. So
yes.
Nice.
Cool.
I don't know what I'm taking, if I'm even taking anything, but
Take yourself and
I am
have fun.
going.
Take
Yep.
one of your cats and just go.
I tried that last year. Steve said no
Why?
because
Oh, he
Ron is
didn't want
staying
it.
there. And apparently, Ron is deathly allergic.
Oh,
So
okay then. That's a good reason.
That's why Ron's not here tonight, because the cats.
Because the cats. Yeah.
We'll roll
Now
with
we
that.
know.
But yeah, as of today, I now have confirmed that I am able to go to VCFE since I got the power steering on my car fixed. It took 3 hours. I only electrocuted myself 14
Oh
times.
my god.
Shocked yourself. But actually, if you electrocute yourself, you'd be dead.
12 volts at 800. What do you think? My hair's standing up because it's just naturally this way?
12 volts at 800 amps. Yeah. Yes.
No, I just
Talk to.
I got a
Javier
mild
about
I
12
got a
volts.
mild shock when I found out the main wire going to my power steering was shorting against the body of the car.
Oh,
Yeah.
That didn't have anything to do with the power steering not working, though. Not at
Yeah,
all.
it did. Yeah, because as soon as I got the wire that wasn't shorting, it started working again. Because my nephew it was my nephew's old car. He had an amplifier in the trunk, and he ran the wire for the power through the same grommet where the power steering wire cable comes through the firewall. Because on the Pontiac, on my Pontiac, the power steering motor's inside the car, not outside.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was fun.
Nice. Yeah, don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Kids, what are you gonna do with them?
And Dana does stuff, so try disconnecting the battery next time, Mike.
It's kind of hard to do that when I have to have the car running to see if the power steering's working.
Action Retro. Power steering is for weaklings anyway.
Hey, I've drove it for the last week without power steering, so.
So, have you been up to anything, Mike, for the wonderful month of Marcintosh, or have you just been kind of collecting yourself?
I set my Mac Pro up. Does that count? Well, technically, I didn't set my Mac Pro up because it's been doing things. It's been sitting under my desk with nothing hooked up to it but an Ethernet cable since I moved in. But I actually set it up today, so does that count?
Sure.
There you go.
Now
It's not really a vintage Mac.
it can be.
But-
All you need to do is install a mini VMac and run that cool image file that Ron made, and you can get it on Global Talk and print to people's printers.
Or maybe I
Yes,
do that.
you can send stuff to Steve's image writer too. Do it. Send naughty pictures to Steve. I dare you.
Oh, I should do that. That would be actually pretty cool. God, he'd kill me.
Are we thinking of like deck picks?
Sure.
I'm trying to keep it. Oh
Why
no, wait,
not?
we're 10 minutes in. Okay, we're good.
Anyone have a link to that Ron image? Yeah, Ron does.
Oh my god.
He's not here. Something must have happened. It happened. He gets last minute stuff with his family sometimes. So.
Well, I've been very bored for the last 4 days because Steve hasn't been around. He's in Seattle.
Mhm.
Yeah, I actually had
Yeah.
invited Steve, and then he said,
And,
"Hey,
and
I would
Sean,
love to come on, but
yeah, Steve told me that I'm supposed to harass Sean for those 4 days, and Sean doesn't want anything to do with me. So, you know. So when Trina said, "Hey, do you want to be on whatever this is?" I said, "Yeah, sure, why not? I don't have anybody else to talk to."
Cool. Well, let's.
I like deck picks like VT100 terminals inside.
Yes, exactly, Francois.
That would be funny.
Exactly.
Hey, Steve, here's your deck pick. Oh my god!
Hold on. Let me get on my pumpkin tosh and start making a deck pick. Right. So
We need to make ASCII art. Why not?
Let's run around the circle here and check in on everybody and see what's been going on. Trina, what's been going on in your world, my friend?
I finally got caught up with some of the laptops, and these aren't all of them. The Apple laptops, finally got them all imaged. Now it's just time to put them up for sale. Gonna go buy an M1 iMac tomorrow for a client to replace their 2012 iMac that the spinning drive is starting to act up, and it's just easier to actually buy an M1 than trying to take those stupid things apart. So beyond that, finally got caught up on all the builds at work. So yay, it's been a relaxing kind of since Tuesday, kind of relaxing time. I got some laptops built with Windows 10 images on them, so I don't have to at least do that part. I just have them on the desk and domain them, and off we go. And that's pretty much it.
Cool. You mentioned getting an M1 MacBook. I do want to note.
No, iMac, MacBook.
M1 iMac. Okay, that's fine. That still reminds me though.
Okay.
M1 MacBooks right now. Apparently, Apple has been dumping them everywhere. Best Buy, Amazon, Walmart, for the first time ever, is carrying Macs, I guess. They are dumping all of the old M1 stuff, and you can apparently get like a MacBook, like is it a MacBook Pro, an M1 MacBook Pro?
It's MacBook Air.
The MacBook Air, okay. For like $600.
Yep.
So if you're looking for a Mac that is like if you don't need super horsepower, but you just want to have the cool new stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Marcintosh. Somebody at Apple was paying attention. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say.
But then again, all I can say is you can still use your 2012 MacBook Pros. Just put Linux on it.
Yes.
And guess what? It works.
Yes.
It just works so much better than with the Mac OS on it.
Yes. Tell people about that. I want to hear about your process on that you did, because that's very fascinating. I don't think we talked about it before.
Okay. So 10.15 is starting to have issues, as a lot of the Mac old, because that's the Macs you can put on these things. And I was starting to run into, this app isn't supported anymore. It started with WhatsApp, actually was what started the spur. Saying this isn't supported on this version, isn't supported with this OS, blah blah blah, and you can't upgrade it because limitations, I guess. Even though they could just, support it. So then I got watching Veronica Explains, and if the people who are watching and are in the chat aren't subscribed to Veronica Explains, go do that.
Do it.
Thank
you, Veronica. I haven't sold that many BlueSCSIs in a billion years.
Yeah.
Oh God, send help. Anyway, continue.
But you hired help. You now have hired hands for that.
I know. So, I found help.
So anyway, so she had done a video on around Christmas time about Linux Mint. And it was nice and slow at work, so I was able to watch it. And I'm like, I remember using Linux Mint back in the day, and it was an enjoyable experience. So I happen to have a spare MacBook Pro, as normal people do, I'm going to say, with the exact same specs as the one that I was using. So I said, hey, why don't I just put in a 120 gig SSD, see how it runs? Mm-hmm. And it ran fine. It was perfectly fine. I had no glitches with it. So then I ended up putting in a 1 terabyte. And I just realized the other day, I don't know where the screws are. I thought the screws are on the bottom. They're not.
So it's just kind of
well, yeah. Every so often when I go, because I just use it in bed, so every so often when I go and grab it, I'm like, oh yeah, right. There's no screws. Hold it like this. But yeah, I've been using it for a little over a month now. Didn't realize how much actually faster it is on the same the OSs on the same hardware. I had to boot up the other MacBook, which is still sitting there because it still has files on it and stuff. And in order to get into Firefox, which is the web browser, it took forever compared to Linux Mint. So I am super happy with it. It's been working fine. There's been a couple times that it's frozen up, but that's because I've been leaving it on for like 2 weeks and just doing updates and not rebooting when it tells me to. So I've now learned when it says, hey, maybe you should reboot your system, maybe I should. But otherwise, I haven't. It's been thoroughly enjoyable and nice and slick. It's basically bred new life into an older MacBook, which I refuse to stop using because if anything goes wrong with it, memory or hard drive wise, guess what? You can fix it yourself.
Trini, you can fix the other ones too. It just requires an entire board swap. So
yeah, yeah, exactly.
I will say that I agree with Trina on the Linux Mint. I'm running a version of Linux Mint on an old laptop that was my primary mobile laptop for years that I had kind of set to the side and got a new laptop, put Mint on it, and it came back to life. It just works. It boots. It's fast. Yep. You click the browser and it's like, you're not waiting for forever. It works. So yeah.
And welcome, Ron.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
I had
a bit of an emergency, so I had to go take care of that. But I'm here now. So
well, we figured we said that it was because Mike has all these cats, and you're definitely allergic to cats, so you're just like, nope, not being here.
No, it's Mike's cats are states away, so I'm feeling all right.
I was going to say the emergency is he forgot to take allergy medication.
There's enough, kind of circulation, like open air. I think I'm doing all right.
Okay.
So, Ron, what's going on in your world?
Not a whole lot. Outside of my little emergency this evening, not a whole lot. I think I'm like most people this month. I got all sucked in on Global Talk and Marchintosh and just doing fun old Mac things. I actually bought because there's a couple different versions of the image writer printer that Apple released, their dot matrix. There's the very last one that they made basically has some improvements. It's got additional memory. It has a switching power supply instead of an analog power supply. And so, or that's not the word that I wanted to use. Linear power supply. So it's much lighter. Like it's like the Image Writer 2 is like the first version is like a boat anchor. It weighs like 45 pounds. It's crazy. The later version, it's like 20 pounds. It's, cost reduced. It's with some upgrades. So it's pretty nice. So I found one on eBay and for a decent price shipped. And so I got it in preparation for doing some fun Marchintosh stuff, a comparison video between different image writer models. And then I realized I already had one. I just already had one. That's why you always go and look at what you have before you buy new stuff. So, yeah. So that's what I've been up to.
And don't let me forget, Ron, I wanted to talk about Global Talk a little bit after we run the circle here, because I think it's important to bring up for Marchintosh.
Oh, are we talking projects or something? Sorry, I kind of.
No, we're just following up with everybody, and then we're going to come back around and talk about the Global Talk generally, since it's Marchintosh, and that's been the big thing this year. So. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know if this is an appropriate time, but I did want to say that there's some new items out there in GCM-1.com that are Mac centric. They're in my little section of the store.
Yes.
You should go check them out.
Yes.
I mean, Joe, you specifically, you should go check them out.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're over there in the yellow bin. Yeah.
Sweet.
They're there. Javier, what's going on in your world, buddy?
I've been busy, actually. I've been really busy doing a lot of cool stuff. Between them, I've done Global Talk is working on my little Color Classic with, guess what?
Mm-hmm.
A BlueSCSI with Wi-Fi.
That's good.
See, it's very important that when you go to connect your Macintosh to the internet with your BlueSCSI with Wi-Fi, that you use a BlueSCSI that has Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
That's, I don't know, you should
Mhm.
you shouldn't think,
That's what happened to me yesterday, because I went through and I was doing some stuff, and then I was trying to help Sloopy troubleshoot something, and I went to install the thing, and it was like, hey, we can't find your hardware, and I was like, what? And it was like, yeah, because all my BlueSCSIs are the ones. Actually, one of my PowerBooks has a BlueSCSI in it with Wi-Fi. I don't know which one it is. So I'm really good about labeling stuff, really bad about labeling which one of the BlueSCSIs has Wi-Fi. So I'll have to go through and test them all.
I think I can do better than you, because I went up to the BlueSCSI guy, to what's his name?
Eric.
Yeah, Eric, sorry. I went and asked him directly, what am I doing wrong? And then he told me, let me see your logs. And he told me, well, you don't have Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So.
And I guess the way you can know is if you look at the top of your Pico, if it doesn't have a little metal can on top of it. And I'm not talking about Campbell's soup. I'm talking about a little aluminum square like on top of it. Looks like aluminum. It's probably not aluminum. It's probably aluminum. But
anyway,
if you don't have that, yeah,
exactly. So I got it working. I didn't want to put an Edward card because that has also an Apple IIe card, and I don't want to. Yeah, that's
no
without
Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
because it doesn't have the little rectangle.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Wi-Fi, because it's got the little silver rectangle.
Nice.
Yes, Wi-Fi.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing that I've been working on is this baby over here. So
yeah, I saw that.
Did you repaint Did you repaint the frame to be less bright gray?
That is correct.
Ha! I influenced you.
Yes, unfortunately you do. So the cool thing about this one, other than being black and have an LCD instead of a normal thing, is that it has a little motor inside, just like the M100.
Yeah.
And hopefully you can hear it, but it's moving it right now. So it does exactly the same as an M100. It goes like this, one way, and it moves it up, moves it down, it tilts it with a little motor.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little hard to see from that distance, but I've seen it.
It is, but yeah, it's moving anyway. Very slow.
It does do the thing.
But it's black, so it goes with the black Apple IIe.
It's really good. If you're taking feedback, you should consider installing a black LED for the power light. I think that'll really set it off.
That's right.
It will fit the theming that you have established, sir.
Yeah.
So what you really do is install a black light LED. So everything in the room will glow. And your patrons
no. We don't want to see his room glow.
Moving on.
Just thinking about all the ocular cancers that
that's my new thing. Go ahead.
Hey, Sean Fee. Hey, Sean. Yes, that is going to be the coolest thing since spring. Joe World. What's been going on in Joe World? Oh my God. So projects. Lots and lots of projects going on. The first thing I do want to note is Ron has developed some new products that are in jcm-1.com. What's that?
Make yourself big.
Why would I ever do that? Yes. So,
but keep in mind, though, what you're seeing right there, Joe, you need to do this in an incognito window because you're seeing this from the store owner's perspective, not from the customer perspective.
So basically, you're seeing all of my my private stuff.
Oh, honey, I've seen your private so many times. I mean, private stuff. Yes.
So anyway, yes. So basically, we've got two new products, and that is the J12 breakout for the Classic and the Classic 2, and the J12 pass-through for the Classic and Classic 2, which, of course, allow you to do cool things like hook up the external Universal Plus SE Classic TTL video adapter to your Classic now, and have external video. So that is super duper cool. Other things that are going on in Joe Land, which I wanted to show you, is this guy right here. Man, my website's really fast when I'm not logged in as an admin.
Yeah.
It's the Clipper Plus. The Clipper Plus is, and I've mentioned it before, but I'll mention it again. The Clipper Plus is a cool little device that you clip over the SCSI chip in your Mac Plus, and it gives you an internal SCSI port, just like that.
Ugh.
Fancy.
That's pretty cool, actually.
I had 5 of them in stock yesterday, and then our good friend Frank, Frodo Jedi, bought all 5 of them for some reason, and now I don't have any. But I have parts coming in to make more of those. So that's what's going on in Joeland. But lots of other projects and stuff going on. Oh God, what the? Other things going on in Joeland. I've got actually when there's multiple. I like us in this mode when there's more of us because we're bigger. The Pico Gus is coming along. So that's a thing. Hopefully I will be able to have about 480 of those in stock in the next couple of weeks. So that's going to be good. And of course, if you don't know what the Pico Gus is, it's the Gravis ultrasound, all sound cards forever for the IBM PC that uses a Pico. So that's going to be super cool. BlueSCSIs are back in stock, all of that stuff. Now, enough about stupid product stuff. What has Joe been doing that aren't product things? I've been fixing people's Macs. I've been doing my thing for Marchintosh has been mostly background stuff this year. I've fixed 2 classic 2s. I mean, you could call that a waste of time if you wanted to, but I fixed 2 classic 2s because their owners love them. And also I've been doing some diagnostic work for Mac Effects on their on the Performer card, the Performer CLSLSE, CL, whatever it is. The thing for the SE that makes it go fast, the go faster.
Yes.
2C RAM
accelerator.
Card.
Yes.
Yes, the 2C RAM card is back here. That's in progress. I finally got the boards in. I finally got the boards in for the Apple II, the Apple II card for the PC that turns your ISA slot PC into an Apple II. So lots of stuff. So I've just been doing just things in the background to keep the things going. Ryan, Everything Broken Garage, is asking how's the weather station, and it's holding the floor down over there. So,
and it just needs to do that until January 1st.
So, back up a little bit, Joe. You said you're recreating something to make a Apple II work in a PC.
Yes. It's called the Diamond Trackstar Plus. It emulates a 128K Apple IIe inside of a PC. The board is completely cloned. All I have to do is populate it.
Do this right.
Dude, you have to let me beta test that.
Oh, absolutely.
It's Bruce.
Sure.
Hey, Bruce.
Hi, everybody.
Bruce, thank you for joining us at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Look, I'm going to blame my tardiness on the daylight savings change over there, and that's my excuse, and I'm sticking to it. So,
just blame it on me. Everybody else blames everything else.
Fair enough.
Where you been,
It's my fault. I screwed up the time zones. What's up, Bruce?
Things are going well. How are things with you? I haven't spoken to you in ages.
Well, whose fault is that?
Well,
it's not my fault you live on the other side of the freaking world.
Oh, dear. Yes.
I'm still alive. The cats haven't killed me yet. Although they've been trying like hell, but they haven't killed me yet.
That is good to hear. And you're settling in?
Yeah, this is the first time I've actually sat in my studio and did a stream since I just haphazardly slapped my Mac Pro and some crap 21-inch monitor on my workbench here.
And
so I didn't have to resort to using the PC behind me. You know?
Oh, that's good. That's good. That would be horrific.
No PCs are allowed to be used during March. Also, nobody ask me what computer I'm using to stream right now.
I actually haven't used a PC for about, I don't know, a month or so yet. So I'm actually still good.
I guess I have to stop being a host because my day job has me working on PCs only.
That doesn't count. Now, if you count work, I use it. I use a PC and an AS400 all day at work, so that would automatically count me out of the whole Macintosh thing. You know, it's just way too much IBM crap going on there.
I do occasionally use a PC, but in my defense, it's running in parallels on my Macintosh. So.
Good.
We'll let you go then.
What you been up to, Bruce? We haven't really heard from you too much in our little circle.
No. Look, I have my day job has actually been very, very busy, so I haven't had anywhere near the sort of time that I would have liked to invest in things like creating content lately. I have been working on a video at the moment where I am testing lots of flux. So for those who may or may not be aware of this, I did this little video series on a little while ago where Amtech, who are the makers of fine fluxes, for the past 2 years has actually been getting made by two separate companies, Inventec and Amtech. And the two companies have effectively been making flux. So if you buy Amtech flux in the US, you will get them made from one or the other. And they have been trying to sort the situation out, but no real progress has been made. Neither side has really made any significant moves towards this. So what ended up happening was the Amtech company, not Inventec, have decided to change the name of their flux to Styri instead of Amtech. So the reason being that the name Amtech has taken a bit of hit because of all of this. The brand name has sort of somewhat had its reputation damaged, also because of the fact that there are also counterfeit products with the Amtech name on them, and so they've now called their product Styri. It's the same fantastic fluxes, and in actual fact, they sent me a box of samples, and I have over the last few days been testing 16 different types of flux. Well, I can tell you that's quite a fun old time, and trying to discern whether one flux is better than another, based on what, I mean, what makes one flux better than the other. So that's what I've been doing lately. That's about it.
I will say, I think it really just comes down to technique and stamina.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
But I might not be hearing everything clearly on my end, though. I mean, Tina wasn't stepping in to make the joke. Somebody's got to pick up the slack.
That's right.
Did he just call you Tina?
He did call me Tina. Yeah.
No. Now you guys can't hear. See, that's the thing. It's dropping consonant sounds. Just let the comedy work, guys. Okay.
Hey, listen. I've been called so many names. I'll go with Tina. I'll run with that.
I do have a question for Bruce. You're going to call the video "We're Not Fluxing Around Anymore," right?
Well, I definitely have to use some keywords because it's a series. It's the third in a series of videos, so I have to kind of keep with the theme of the previous two that I've done. I keep getting people saying to me, "Hey, when's the next video coming out? What's going on?" And so it is coming out soon. I've actually recorded the intro for it, but I wanted to be able to provide some sort of feedback on the sample of fluxes they sent me. It was very nice of them to send me this gigantic box of flux. Yeah. I don't think I'll need to buy any for quite some time.
Just mix it all together in one vat, stir it real well, and then it's just, what is it? Flux.
Flux, yeah. That's right.
I've seen a movie like that once, but we won't go into that.
Calm down. And of course, another thing that I've been doing, and I will be doing a video on this as well, is building BlueSCSI's completely from scratch. So just basically taking the bare board and then surface mounting every single thing on it. And I have to say, I love doing that. I find it very therapeutic and extremely rewarding when you get them working afterwards. So.
Bruce, I like the design on that exact PCB because that reflects an early design decision because they wanted you to be able to get in there and clean the drive head.
Right.
And
yeah, I mean,
this is an esoteric joke. They wanted you to be able to get in there and clean the drive head, but then they were like, we don't want people to do that. So then they took it out, filled the hole, saved the money.
This is actually one of the most short-lived designs in the BlueSCSI history. This is the BlueSCSI, drawing this away from my face, but I am a very old person. So this is a 2023-09A version of this. And this one turned into a 4-layer board, whereas all the ones before it had been a 2-layer board. That significantly increased the cost of getting these PCBs made. Now, what I love about this revision, apart from the fact that it costs more to get it made, what I love about this revision is 2 different versions of slot. So you can actually have a full-size SD card slot or a micro SD card slot, whichever you prefer. Then it also has this USB-C connector at this location here, rather than having to use the micro USB on the Pico. And as I have heard, this one was one of the best designs, electrically speaking, but just not one of the best designs cost speaking. So anyhow, it's the one that I ended up getting, 10 PCBs made. So it's the one that I'm using. So I'm happy with it, even if it did cost more.
As someone who has to assemble many of these, well, not anymore. I prefer the one right after that one, but I digress.
Well, see, did the one right after it, did that still have the micro SD card slot?
No, this is the 2023 10A is the one that we added all the initiator mode stuff.
Yep. And I will tell you another thing as well, and I've complained about this, but no one's listening to me. I would have loved it if when they took away the USB-C connector from here, I would have loved it if the Pico board had been mounted that way around, so that the micro USB was sticking out the bottom rather than sticking off the side. Mm-hmm. But once again, what I wish for and what I get are very rarely the same. So, and I just have to accept that there are people with way larger brains than mine designing these things. And when I ask for stuff, they're probably like, no, you can't do it. Yeah. So I just have to deal with it.
I'm waiting for a BlueSCSI to come out that has a 168-pin SCA connector on it.
That'd be something.
I think Androida sells adapters. You can just chonk an adapter on there.
Really?
Oh, he wants it direct.
Yep.
I'd like to try one in my son. That would be pretty cool.
I'm still using really old, slow computers, so I'm barely getting the speed benefit from these things. But I love the Wi-Fi. Being able to turn, like an old, I don't know, Mac Classic or something into a Wi-Fi computer is pretty darn awesome.
I had SCSI 2SD in all my some of the Macs that I had, and when I replaced them, I saw the huge difference they made.
Yeah,
huge.
The biggest step forward with SCSI emulators was the RP2040 chip. It's faster, and cheaper. And so they were just able to make a massive leap forward in performance when they changed over to the RP2040, which is fantastic. I mean, the disadvantage was that the RP2040 has no built-in memory, no built-in storage, whereas the old chip they used to use on the SCSI 2SD did. So it means they need to use a separate chip for storage, but you don't need to worry about that if you're using a Pico, because there's storage on the Pico. So, so fantastic stuff. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just babbling on here. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. Yeah. It's Mac related. Babble on.
It's become the Bruce stream now.
Yeah, it has. Sorry about that. Everyone else, talk. What's everyone else been up to?
We already went through that.
10.
Yeah.
I know. Sorry, I was in a meeting, so that's why I missed all of the beginning stuff. So sorry about that.
It's all good. I do want to take a minute before we get on to segment 2, which is the recent gets. I do want to talk a little bit about Global Talk, the worldwide local talk network that is absolutely freaking crazy, and many of us sitting here are connected to right now. I think Ron is going to be put on the spot because Ron knows more about the actual inners of how it functions. I clicked buttons that Steve told me to click to make it work. So
I'm in the same boat. I am but a just someone that is just standing on the backs of giants. But I did do my best to try to maybe understand some of the underlying stuff, and really just what it comes down to is that all of this internet accessible, sort of routable stuff has existed forever, and all you have to do is just open the right ports up on your router, and away you go. And it's really, really cool, and it's very, very neat. And Steve, Mac84, did a bunch of work and wrote a guide that will kind of explain how everything works. It it really just comes down to that there's kind of two options. There is a pre-rolled image that you can download, and if you have a device like a BlueSCSI, you can just load it right on that. And then if you have Ethernet on the machine you want to use it on, you're pretty much good to go. Or if you want to use the BlueSCSI built-in Wi-Fi and things like that, if you have an appropriate model, you can go out and install the other things that you need. And then basically that's it. You can there's a spreadsheet where you go out and you'll pick a unique zone name. So like for me, it's Ron's Computer Videos is just RCV. And then you pick a unique sort of seed range, port range that your traffic is going to uniquely communicate on. And that's it. At that point, you just save your file and you start the router and you're serving files to people. Actually, I think I have, if I can switch my camera over. Yeah, I actually have it up and running right now on my Quadro 650.
So the port range that you set up, if you're having multiple ports, I assume you need multiple ports so that multiple people can access you at the same time?
Well, it's set up so that way that no one's zone conflicts. Each zone needs to be sort of its own little island. And when you, like, for example, if I were to go out, let me show you something that's actually interesting. If you were to go out to Chooser, you can then see people that have registered their zone. There's a master spreadsheet. You basically request access to it, and then you can go out there and add your information. But yeah, you can basically just go through. You can see what resources, like for example, someone's running they're probably running Netatalk or something like that, or they might be running some sort of AFP emulator on their Raspberry Pi, but you can just pick a machine, you hit OK. We're just going to connect as guest. Most people have guest access set up. I'm going to go ahead and I'll pick the Dropbox, because this is actually one of the fun things about this event is that people have been going through and setting up little Dropboxes where you can go out. It's keep in mind this is based on some serial stuff, so it takes a second. But yeah, people have they've got these little drop boxes set up, and people go out there and leave a little nice message. Or what I've been doing is, it's probably already copied out here, but I'll do it again because why not? I made an icon pack for this event. And basically, yeah, people are just copying some neat little things out there, leaving words of encouragement for each other. And then if people have files or applications or things like that, they're sharing them out. The other thing that's kind of neat is people that have connected printers. So the world's fastest image writer, basically all I got to do is select it right there. And then if I have a program on my machine, and again, if they have their sorry, my mouse went crazy for a second. If they have their machine set up to where it allows public access to their printer. Sorry, I'm a bad person. I haven't registered this like 50-year-old program.
What?
I know. But you can also go out, and people either have real printers, like Steve did a live stream where he showed printing to his Image Writer 2, or a lot of people have virtual printers set up. Like our friend Gutbomb has a fake sort of thing set up. But I'm just going to print it as a draft. I'm going to make sure it fits the content of the window, and I'll send it off. And so now on their printer, they have a cute little Marcintosh logo to share with their friends and family.
Nice.
So, world's fastest image writer. You sure that's not Greg Rutke from Rutke Mods?
You're right. I'm not sure. I'm going to say that since that machine also has an image writer, it probably is using cups or something to emulate a printer. And then you can send those things over. I know that that's what Gutbomb does. So let me look here.
People have been.
He may have his printer turned off, but
dropping
Printing
pictures
things.
and tweets on your printers.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody
Yeah.
printed me a picture of my own face.
Yeah. Fun things.
Attention, your warranty is expired. Greetings from Eric's Edge.
That's funny.
Just like tons of there's drawing from Steve. Yes, so lots of cool things.
Now, something that you might see when you're out there looking at the different Apple Talk zones is you might see someone that has 2 zones. One might have an LT after it. The LT is basically their like the actual legacy non-Ethernet local talk side of their network. If you were to on your setup, actually, I'll stop the router real fast on my side so I can show you. But if you go into your router setup, basically you're just making a little configuration file as part of this. If you go into your local talk and you ensure that your network number right here matches your oops, let me look on the IP tunnel. Yeah, I think there if it's in the same range or something like that, you won't see that doubled up entry. Now that I'm actually thinking about it, I may not properly understand exactly what's all going on with that, but really, you just go through, you can figure it up. Again, here I'll show my file here. It's once you get the software installed, and it really just comes down to making sure that you have at least System 7.1, Mac TCP. I think you also need you'll also need the Apple Internet Router 3.0 software installed. Again, Steve's guide does a much better job than my ramblings here are going to do. But you basically just go in, you configure it, you make sure that everything is unique to your setup. Like you're going to, like, here's the host range. Like these are all the people. And unfortunately, right now, you do have to manually enter these. But there is a nice spreadsheet that actually has all those. You can just import it in on your Mac and then just go through and just type them in or whatnot. But just make sure that your range and your zone name is unique, and that's it. It's all pretty good to go.
Where would we find Steve's little guide?
I think if you go to marcintosh.com, and at the top there is a link that will that you can select that just says it says Global Talk, and that will link you to the spreadsheet. It will link you to Steve's guide. It will link you to the appropriate downloads so that anybody can play around. And if you don't have a Mac that you want to leave on 24 hours a day, all you have to do is in the spreadsheet just say available this time to this time, these days of the week, however you want to do it. It's your setup. But it is also possible to do this with emulation under QEMU. So basically, you can just do a base install of QEMU. You can use the kind of the pre-rolled image if you want, which is based under 7.1, but should boot just fine on QEMU. And you can go through, set your settings in the thing or in the spreadsheet. And then you can basically, if you already use a device like a BlueSCSI for your drives, like as you see, like I do over here, what you can do is you could just go through and connect QEMU to your disk images, and it will just show up like it's a real Mac. You go through, you can start a session, and now you're serving stuff out just like you would with a real machine. So really, it's a lot of fun because anybody can play. You don't necessarily have to own an old Mac. If you just want to like live the old days of, like going out on like your campus network or something like that, and select or connecting to other people's zones and trading files and even playing games, that needs a little bit of work yet because I do think that everybody has to be on the same zone.
Yeah.
But I know that there's some research going into having like big bolo games and marathon and things like that. So, but that's it. It's really neat and it's free, and people should get involved and have fun.
Yep. Agreed.
David Ladd has a question. Is there a link to a setup guide for this QEMU and the older Macs?
No. Mostly because it's a real pain in the butt. Here's the problem. I sat down and I was like, I was like, oh my gosh, like there's got to be an easy way to do this because like especially it's the problem is like this is very much a Linux-y kind of thing. However, there are builds of it for both Windows and for Mac. So it's the Linux stuff and the Mac stuff very much kind of the same. The PC stuff is kind of its own deal. But I will work with Steve to do maybe a little brain dump this week. So that way that anybody that wants to play around with it can learn from my mistakes and hopefully get it up and running pretty easily. The biggest thing that people need to remember about this is it does require you to open a port on your router that requires you to, hopefully you're not just putting a machine on your network in the DMZ. You certainly could. An old Mac, I'm not really a System 7 Macintosh. I'm not really sure like what sort of cyber threats exist for those machines. It'd be real easy, or it'd be real exciting to find out. But it just requires you to forward one UDP port from your external network to your Mac on your internal network. So it seems like it's a very narrow window of risk to be able to play around with this. And again, it's only active and working when that machine is on. So if you turn off the router software, it should eliminate any kind of risk. If you turn the Mac off, it definitely eliminates any kind of risk. So I will work with Steve to see if we can get some of that information out there. Because I do know that there are PC people that want to play around, but just the it is kind of daunting to get it working the first time.
And it's my understanding that this wasn't something that was developed for Macintosh. It's just coincidentally happened at the same time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It was, oh, by the way, it's March. Neat.
Yeah.
Yep. So I do want to add to that. If you go to www.hititwithahammer.com, this Mac SE30 will serve you a web page. It has been running consistently since March 12th. It has served 1,502 people. So go ahead and hit it. Break it. Break my Mac.
All right. Challenge accepted.
This poor SE30 is not going to know what to do.
Loading times. Gosh.
Remember, part of that is because my internet is crap.
Okay.
And it's hititwithahammer.com, correct?
Wasn't .net?
.net. Thank you.
Hammer.net.
.net.
.com was taken. I couldn't get that.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh God, you poor computer.
There we go.
It's blinking and doing weird things.
It's as
Oh,
if
no.
So can I ask?
you reached?
Can I ask what software you are using for the web serving
Yes.
side of things?
Microsoft Personal Web Server, because
That's-
it's reliable and it runs in the background as a init.
Yep.
So you start the machine up and it's running, and it just
I did exactly the same with an LC2 or 3 that I had set up for a while, doing the same thing. And I think it even allows you to do some really basic server-side scripting as well.
you
I
do
think.
some CGI stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that the computer really has any horsepower to execute code, but sure.
Yeah. No, that's wonderful. Love it.
Here's the thing, Garth. If he says that the Pumpkintosh would burst into flames, but because of its color, would you know? Yeah, Action Retro. 10 simultaneous users, denial of service. It's also possible at some point that my home ISP may just start blocking port 80 because, I'm not supposed to be hosting websites on my home router. But
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
That's funny.
So I think we should run around real quick before we log off, and actually before we give away the BlueSCSI, and ask, what's the cool recent thing that you got? Oh. Mike, you get to go first because you're first.
Yep.
Mike.
I got a battery for my lawnmower.
Sure. Is your lawnmower older than 1 year?
I don't know. It was given to me. I'd say it's probably about 3 years old.
I think the joke is that it's a petrol-driven one.
Huh?
I think the joke is that it's a petrol-driven mower.
No, it's actually an electric mower.
This doesn't work.
I haven't gotten anything. So
You have received our respect. How's that sound?
I doubt that, but okay.
Bruce, what about you? Anything cool that you've gotten in the retro world?
Well, I can actually mention something here. This was really lovely thing that happened. So I recently did a series on some barn find Macs. So essentially what had happened is I saw some Macs come up on, I think it was Facebook Marketplace, from somewhere about 30, 40 minutes west of where I live here in Sydney. And I contacted him and he said, look, come and have a look. And I thought, well, that's great. That's actually what I want. I want to just come and have a look with no real obligation. And I had a look and these Macs were in terrible state. I mean, really bad. And I bought an LC2, an LC3, an LC475, and a 2SI. So far, I have resurrected the LCs. Actually, I bought an LC580 as well, but that is but then the 2SI is the only one I've yet to resurrect. But anyhow, I was working on a live stream and I was showing how badly discolored these Macs were. They've been sitting out in the weather and the little Apple icon has completely faded. There's virtually no color left in the little Apple icon on the front of these computers. And then during one of my live streams, or maybe in between one of my live streams, I also accidentally stepped on one of the speakers. So a speaker had fallen off the desk. I hadn't been aware of that and I'd stepped on it. And it still works, but it doesn't sound very good anymore. So anyhow, I opened up my letterbox the other day, and inside it is a little package from one of my recapping customers with a nice, fresh, beautiful little speaker in it.
Aww.
And this is what I love: 3 little Apple icons, little metal Apple icons, so that I can pull out the color faded ones and replace them with these beautiful shiny new ones.
Beautiful.
So that was, and look, the good thing about this is that these computers that I purchased, I am planning to sell them. So this will mean that they'll look a little bit nicer for sales. So yeah, that was a really lovely gesture from David. Thank you to you for sending those to me. So that's probably the most joyous thing I've received lately.
So question for you, Bruce. How many computers are left once you were done, or was that all of them?
Oh, no. So there were still quite a few there, but they were in a terrible state. Most of them were those all-in-one performer type range, the 5,000 range of performers, which were the early Power PCs with the slide-out boards. And a lot of them, there was one black one there, because I'm not sure if people realize, but there was a black version of a PowerBook that was sold here in Australia. So they're not as rare as some of the other black ones that, some of the black ones in other parts of the world. They actually turn up here in Australia quite a bit. But they were just, and he also wanted to try and get me to take away a whole bunch of PC cards, like cards for PCs, like, sound cards and crap like that, and old IDE hard drives, spinner hard drives. And I was like, no, and so, yeah, there was still a few computers left over. I missed out on an SE. And I think there was a Mac Plus as well. They were gone by the time I got there. But I still felt pretty pleased to have got, sort of 4 quite nice computers. And I still think there's hope for the 2SI, even though I haven't fixed it yet.
Cool.
Trina.
Hi. Nothing.
Okay.
Honestly, nothing.
Okay. Bye, crazy lady.
Make something up.
I have a G3 still sitting at work that's going to come home when I get, floor space. But yeah, that's about it. Yeah. The other day I went and grabbed a bunch of laptops that had to be decommissioned, because the last time I did that, I found a PowerBook 150 and was like, there's some in bags. Maybe no, they were all just PC stuff. Nothing exciting. So, but yeah,
Boring.
I haven't got any recent gifts. Sorry. Oh, I did get. I should mention, I got 2 things of stickers this week. I got one from Big Bad Biologist's Big Bad Bench, And also from our great co-host Javier. Sent me some stickers this week. So
Neat.
that's about it.
Katrina, if I ship you the TechScan MSI CompuVid SpectraGen 4B that I have on the floor, does that absolve me of the bet?
It was just between him. Oh, I was thinking there was something I got. Oh shit, balls! What was it? Damn it! My brain. You started talking. You shouldn't have talked.
How dare you, as a host of this show? What are you thinking?
And also me,
old
not
age, old age is called Alzheimer.
I know. I literally it was on the tip of my tongue, and I'm looking around, going, "What did I get?" Oh God! All right, pass me. I'll come back to it when I remember.
Ron, what you got?
Hey, I got some neat things that aren't necessarily like computers, but are kind of computer adjacent. So I love these old Sony Mavic cameras. I like them. I think they're very fun.
Something you have in common with Steve.
Yes, I think that they represent kind of a neat era of computing history, and the and you can still get them, and you can still get them pretty cheap. So this week, I was able to actually hone in on a couple because I've had a few, and they're fine, but there's always something interesting about having the first and the last of something. And so this is actually the FD5. This is the first floppy disk model that Sony made as part of their Mavic line. It is not very high resolution. It is it's not very high resolution, and it has a fixed focus lens. It does have a macro mode, but this would have been typical kind of a lot of cameras of that era. So this is the first one. Again, strictly like a 1x floppy drive. So the files are small. It doesn't take very long to write them. That's okay. They did follow that model up. I can't get to it. It's very far away. But there's an FD7, which is just like one step up. That basically it's the same camera, but it has a 10x optical zoom. I will tell you, this camera is very light. This is like maybe just a few ounces. The one with all that glass in it feels like 5 pounds. I mean, they're very much the same kind of camera. Just one has an optical zoom and a bunch of glass in it, and yeah. And then I finally got the very last one in the series. This is the FD200. This is a 2 megapixel camera. And what's kind of nice about this is it also allows you to use Sony's memory stick, which was kind of their proprietary, like competing with XD cards and kind of the infancy of SD cards and stuff, compact flash, all that of that era. So this allows you to use higher capacity storage, which is really great because these later ones can actually make movies with sound, which is something that was kind of maybe a novelty at the time. Everybody's cell phone does that. But it still retains the ability to use floppy disks. And I'm probably putting it in upside down. But...
And it saves a single image across 2 discs. Your first half on one disc and the second half on another disc.
Yeah. No, I had it right the first time. Yeah. But no, it does. It's you can maybe put 2 or 3 images at the highest resolution with this camera. But the thing that's nice about this that people don't think about is it might even be worth investing in one of these that you never intend to use as a camera, because you can plug a USB cable into your your Mac or your PC or something. It's a floppy drive, so you can access the floppy drive. More than that, it's a 4x floppy drive. So if you are going to make some copies of some floppies, you can do it relatively quickly using your Mavic. But that's really it. I just I love these little cameras. I think that they are kind of an interesting point in history. After the FD200, Sony switched over to CD media. So they, I mean, oh man, that camera would be huge. No, they actually at one time you could get those like little 2.78 or 3-inch CDs that took up a lot less space and had a lot less storage. But it was maybe nice because you could then, record, do stuff, and then immediately turn around and hand that to somebody, which was a big problem kind of in those days of like, you go to an event, you're taking snapshots of something. How do you get that to people? There's not like this robust internet and stuff that we have now to make that easy. There's no flash drives. There's no anything like that. Will it take a BlueSCSI? Let's find out.
Oh, and by the way, Scarlett, some of us do actually have Asian puppies.
That takes me back.
I just,
Right. Here's a V2. It appears to plug in. Your mileage may vary. Okay. So give it a shot. Try it.
Javier,
Oh,
what have you broken recently? I mean, what have you picked up recently?
don't ask him about
Actually-
traces. That's all I'm saying.
I got cool stuff now. Heavy cool stuff. Oh my god, it almost broke. I got this from my friend Mac Effects. He hooked me up with this beautiful exercise thing because it's heavy as hell. It's a floppy drive, and I think Rudy's gonna like it a lot for Commodore PET, Commodore VIC 20, Commodore 64, and 128.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So it's a single drive that supports all of those systems.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Well, that's what I heard. Oh, you know who told me? Sloopy. And Sloopy knows. So I just got the cable. So I'm going to be testing it a few days, and I'm going to make a video out of it with my VIC 20. I got a VIC 20 too. So look forward for the video.
Cool.
And I also have, from my friend Eric, this amazing book, and I recommend it to you guys. He sent it to me, and I was crazy amazed. It's
Javier, just one question.
Yep.
Which Eric?
Eric Serinsky. So one of the Erics. He was very nice to send it to me as a gift, and it's amazing. I wasn't aware of this book, but it's very cool. It's just about electronics and components, and it tells you everything about it, all new ones, and I was not aware, but it's very cool. It's like an art book, and at the same time it shows you things, so it's very, very cool.
Cool.
And
That's
Joe, I remembered. So when Javier's done,
What do you remember, Trina?
what do I remember? So
What you got?
a few weeks, about a week or two ago, Joe posted a picture from a eBay auction, and it's a book that's titled "Will Someone Please Tell Me What an Apple III Can Do?"
Mm-hmm.
And so, but he didn't put the link to the eBay auction. So I did some research, and hold on, let me share my screen. Guess what I ended up buying? I was the only person that actually put a why. Okay, I'll do it this way. Okay, so for a sec, we're gonna get multiples. If you wanna,
Yeah.
hi, sorry, let me change tabs. Ta-da! So I bought this book. I was the only person who put a bid in on it, so I won it at the asking price, which was nice. And what I'm going to do, Joe has made a shirt that you can buy at jcm-1.com that is pretty similar to the book. And I'm going to do a wet t-shirt reading of the book.
Oh,
Yes.
When
Yes.
when I get it in. So yeah,
Oh,
there's
Show
you
that
can make
real
yourself big. Yeah.
I took a slightly comedic turn on it because no one actually does know what the Apple III can do. So I asked the question, then posed the exclamation. So
Well, actually, we were talking about this on Dave's stream. We figured it was probably the engineers. Like this was a book they made and put
Yeah.
out to people so they could go, here's what you
Maybe
can
it's a
do with it.
Calls for help.
Yeah, right.
Who knows?
you can hold down your desk with it.
Mhm. Joe, I was going to ask, is it sort of like it's like the Lisa? There's like 14 things you can do with it.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
13 of
Run the
which
use-
involve running Apple II programs in emulation.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Mhm. Hey, you know, all I got to say about the Apple III is it's got some really, really cool hardware that was never properly used. Its video modes, its color capabilities. It has a pseudo sprite mode, so you can do some games. It does full wavetable audio and stuff. So all it takes is somebody to I don't know, care and make something really cool for it. So
That's tough. That's tough.
It's great these things are failures because they then do become so collectible.
yeah. The other problem with the Apple III is that they don't exist. There's not many of them out there.
They're not birds, Joe. Come on.
I
Curtis,
don't think there's an emulator for it.
Curtis has a great suggestion of what you can do with an Apple III. You can tenderize meat with it by dropping it to reset the chips.
Yes. Yes. See, you know, if you're really smart like me, you eliminate that problem by removing the entire exterior case so it can breathe.
Mm.
So yeah. Cool.
What are you doing?
Recent gets in Joe world. Nothing. Moving on.
I know I've had my turn already, but I just thought of something that happened before that I did get
Yep.
something really cool. If people don't mind me having another go, I do
Go
apologize.
ahead.
No.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, you know, some people notice, other people won't notice. I worked for 15 years in sort of pre-press, graphic design studio, sort of film output, bromide output, that sort of thing. And a very, very big part of being in that industry was being able to transport large files. And so we were very early adopters of the SciQuest technology. For people who don't know about them, they were essentially a removable cartridge which had like a hard drive platter in it, originally available in 44 megabyte size, and then 88, and then up into like 200, I think. And then they started reducing the size of the disk. But anyhow, I got a SciQuest drive the other day, the first time I've had one since leaving that industry all those many years ago, and got a disc as well, which is kind of cool. And it's something that I find incredibly nostalgic to use. And I just wanted to make mention, if anyone is interested in that technology, and it was big. I mean, SciQuest essentially got destroyed by the creation or the invention of the zip disk. And then, of course, zip then got destroyed with, well, first of all, with CDs, because they were so cheap to burn a CD and send data around that way. But then for rewritable, we then moved into solid state media, which of course killed those as well. But I just wanted to make mention, Colin from This Does Not Compute, he did a video probably a year ago now on the history of SciQuest, and it is absolutely fascinating. So if you do have any interest in SciQuest, or if you work with SciQuest at any stage, I recommend checking out that video, because there was so much stuff in that I didn't realize, and I didn't realize all of the legal battles that were going on when other companies started cloning SciQuest drives, and the fact that SciQuest created a device that was trying to compete with the Jazz drive that iOmega made, and theirs kept on not working. So, you know, they ended up, virtually everyone they sold ended up having to get sent back and refunded or replaced and repaired and stuff like that. So anyway, really interesting stuff. But that was something that I got recently that I was very happy to get into my collection. So. Oh, I played the SciQuest ASMR. So Dana is referring to when you press the button and they go click, and then you sort of pull the lever and pop the disc out. And if you're someone who worked with them, it's a sound that is very, very familiar.
Yeah.
What's the YouTube link? That's a good question. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll find it.
Cool. Yeah, and you can pop it in the private chat. I'll pop it up.
Yeah.
So I think we're getting to the end of our show, but before we end this show, we need to reference the previous show, because on the previous show at the beginning of Marchintosh, we mentioned, hey, how you doing? We want to help you have a great Marchintosh, and by doing so, or in order to do so, we're going to give away a BlueSCSI
a zip disk that Javier has.
Yeah.
No, I'm just showing to Bruce. This is a iOmega
Jazz.
Zip. Jazz.
Jazz, not
Oh,
zip.
yes.
Learn to read.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I actually I have 2 Jazz drives and a bunch of discs. I didn't always get the stuff from where I used to work, but one day they were sitting in a pile, and I just said, "Can I take these home?" This is decades ago. Can I take these home? And they're like, "Yeah, okay, sure." So I'm like, "Yeah." So Jazz is something I have.
Well,
This
you
is my
know,
old
Bruce,
company.
I'm gonna stick with my orb drive. I just feel like they're gonna make a comeback.
Orbs having a comeback for sure.
They're gonna. They're like Alf Pogs. You know, they're due.
Sorry,
Okay,
Joe.
Man. Anyway,
I've
Blue
found the
SCSI.
link.
We're giving away a Blue SCSI here. Isn't that what
Yeah.
we're doing? Yes, we're giving away a Blue SCSI. So, what we need to do that, and what the rules were, was that you. Before I do that, I need to click something. Stand by. I need to do a thing. Stand by.
Oh, so while Joe is thinking, because this could take a while.
Poor Joe.
Yeah, I know. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm going to try to get that global talk working on my Quadra 650. I'm going to be doing a rearranging of the bench that is, you can't see, but it's right here.
Yep.
Yeah, doing, because I think I'm going to decommission. I had a Mac 1,1 that I put Linux on, so I could, in my old setup, use it to, if I needed to research a computer I was working on. But now I don't need it. It's kind of moot. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to probably decommission that, move the Quadra over to where it's more accessible, and yeah, in its place.
Cool.
I also dropped the link to Colin's video. Yeah, so let's go ahead and pick this. So the rules were you had to put a comment on the stream, on last week's stream, or 2 weeks ago stream. You can try to go ahead and put your comment in it now, but I've already pulled the comments and I won't be hitting refresh. So, you've been cut off. So you put a comment and we run it through a little comment picker doodle here to pick the winner. And whoever wins will have to get in contact with me, and we will get you your Blue SCSI. You can pick one of any of the 3 kinds of Blue SCSI, either a desktop, a DB25 external, or a PowerBook version. So let's do the thing. I've got stuff on my screen, so we can do the screen. So you see I've got the video doodle selected there, and no duplicates allowed. So one winner. And
Such
I've
technical
already pulled
language.
comments here, so you can't do the thing. So we're going to
You need to do the math thing first.
the what?
The math thing. Scroll back.
Oh, I did that. I already pulled the comments right here.
No. Look, you see where it says solve sum? You have to do that first.
I did that already, and it pulled the comments. I don't have to do it.
Oh,
you can't do
okay.
it. Yeah, it won't pull comments if
right,
you don't
sorry.
do that.
That would have stumped
Now
me.
I
That's
just
a hard
hit
one.
the button. Right. Ready?
Do it.
Cool.
Go.
Got it. Go.
I'm so excited.
No.
I just got.
What? Redraw.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Retro Tech.
That
Retro
is
Tech,
weird.
the guy who is constantly asking for crap.
Oh my God. I'm not paying postage to Canada. Forget it.
Yeah, you got to run it again.
You gotta run it.
All right. In the interest of fairness, we should run it again.
What?
I mean, give Retro Techie whatever. I mean, he's obviously hacked the Gibson here, but I mean, we should give
You
away.
want me to run it again? I can run it again.
Yeah, run it again. Run it
Okay,
again.
so
What's our
Yeah,
second?
yeah,
Giving
I
away
know.
a second. How many were we giving away? One.
we were giving
I know
away
we
one,
do.
but let's give away another one. Let's do
Let's
a second.
give away 2. I'll gladly.
Yeah.
So Retro
Canadian
Techie,
doesn't count.
you know how to get a hold of me. Get a hold of me, and we'll figure that out for you. Ready? Set?
Ready?
Go.
It's going to see Justin D. Morgan.
No.
Very good.
What?
These are people who don't need them.
All right. Joe,
That's the way it is.
Joe, can we run it a third time? I'm
No.
in to help financially on whatever, but
That's fine. Eric, again, get a hold of me. We'll help you.
oh my God.
We'll get and final. This is the last one,
All right, this is it.
This is the last
it.
one,
I'm already
okay.
broke. This is it.
right? Go.
Third.
Go. There
There
we go. Yeah. So CP later. CP later.
CP later.
Act later. Kipple later.
Mhm.
If you're out there, Yell at us. Get a hold of me. You can go
Maybe
to my
he
website.
left and he doesn't know now.
You can go to.
Can I have it if he doesn't know?
Yeah, sure. If you go to jcm-1.com and go to the contact link and send me a contact there. If you don't already know how to get a hold of me other ways, this is the really easy way to get a hold of me, so you don't have to follow me on all the things. You can go there and say, "Hey, Joe, I won the thing," and we'll get it. We will get it out to you. So, what a wonderful surprise! We only said we were going to give away one, and we give 3.
Now,
Because
Micro Hobbyist said he does need one, and he has an Eric in his name.
Yeah, sure. Great. Yes. So that's it. That's our thing. So we gave away some BlueSCSI's Marchintosh, which you guys can all use. Hopefully, we can get them to you before Marchintosh ends, but you can use them for stuff all the way up until next Marchintosh, and you can show us what you've done with your BlueSCSI's in your Macs, or put them in your PCs or your Amigas. We don't really care. But if they're not in a Mac, I'm going to be mad at you. Anyway, so yeah, that is it for tonight's show. Did anybody have anything else they wanted to add for this evening?
I will say something very, very quickly. This is more of a community service announcement. The other day, I saw someone on one of the Facebook groups talking about a Quadra 840 AV, and they sort of said, "Oh, wow, I saw one on eBay for $2,000. Is that what they're going for these days?" Just a reminder, everyone, that putting a price on eBay does not mean that is the price it is going to sell for. Look at the sold items. The person who is listing a Quadra 840 AV on eBay for $1,999 at the moment is our good friend, Jonathan Goldman. So just be aware that this person exists. He does put these things up on eBay for absolutely obscenely high prices. His tactic is that people make him offers. And by putting a much higher starting price, it means the offers usually come in higher than they would. So he never sells them for these top prices, but he does push the price up by starting high. So, yeah.
I know what I got.
So Joe has a whole line dedicated to Mr. Polka Dots.
I sure do. Yeah, you want a mug?
You can also buy boxer shorts too, as well. Bruce, if you want.
Awesome. Sign me up.
Yeah, we call it wishful pricing.
Yes,
that's hilarious.
Aspirational pricing.
That's it.
But yeah, we somebody on a Facebook group the other day was asking, I have this classic Mac computer, and what is it worth? And my reply back to the person was, what somebody will pay for it.
Yeah.
Because I hate when people say, I got this for free, what can I flip it for? And I'm like, well, it depends on what somebody's going to pay for it. I'll pay you $5. Will you take that?
The only way you're ever going to be really sure is to actually put it up on eBay as an auction. And that's the way you find out what the market value of something is.
And don't start something at a stupid price as an auction, because I went looking for something. I think it was the clamshell. I went looking for a clamshell, and I went looking in the auction. There was an auction that started at $800. Surprise, surprise, no bids.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, Trina, the wife told me to sell it, so.
If you need a clamshell, let me know. I'll go shopping for you, Trina.
Just forward Mike $800.
I know of a clamshell repository. Just tell me which color you're looking for.
I know what he's talking about. Please do not acquire the nice lime green one I just sent to that repository.
No, I would never touch the lime green ones.
Oh, okay.
Every other color is up for grabs, but the lime green ones. I know what that man has gone through to find those damn green clamshells. Same thing with the iMacs.
I'll take a tangerine.
Okay.
Okay.
So 3 tangerines. Anything else?
3 tangerines. That's everything. I'm good. I found a
He'll never notice them missing. He's got like 1,000 of the damn things.
The problem with the tangerines is like when one goes moldy, they all go moldy.
Not if you pull them fast enough.
And they all break. That's why MacFX did those new plastic things. So
Mhm. I actually found one on Facebook Marketplace for $25,
Mhm.
which blew my mind after seeing the price on eBay. But there's all kinds of kids writing on the top. Most of the keys are missing on the keyboard. It's cracked. Yeah, it just. I'm like, no, I'm good. Thanks.
Well, it'd be good for
you got
parts,
25.
Mhm.
as long as you don't need a keyboard or a case.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Alrighty. Well.
Hey, you asked me what I got that was new. Well, here,
Yeah.
this is my newest acquisition.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Hello, kitty.
Here we go.
The kid-
Everybody look at the cat and
Oh
love
my
the cat.
God, what a chunker!
Uh,
He's just a big
He's
boy.
all of 20 pounds. He's huge.
Yeah, but he looks like he also looks like not fat, but like big
No,
bone.
he's not. He's
Because
just
his-
he's built
his
like a
face is
brick shit
big.
house.
Yeah.
He's cute.
But everybody's asking me what my newest acquisition was. Well, here you're
Mhm.
looking at it.
Oh,
That
and
is
you should
one
you should
content
say
cat.
you should say what he has on him as well, because you were mentioning pre-stream.
Oh, his AirTag.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah, so there you go. He does technically qualify for Marchintosh. He has an Apple
Yes.
product.
Yes.
Oh.
Absolutely.
See? He got out of the house. I had to tag him. Yeah.
What's this cat's name, Mike? Orion?
Just- Tucker.
Oh, because I was gonna say, based on the little bobble, I was gonna say the galaxy is on Orion's belt.
Oh.
yeah.
Oh,
You and David had the same thought.
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw it on there, and that's immediately what I thought about. I don't remember what that cat from the movie looked like, but if it was an
Well,
orange cat,
Porter,
it would
he
have been
was-
easy
he
to
was-
find because they have like
He
one
was a
brain
rehome,
cell.
so I just kept his name. I didn't change his name.
Well, that's good.
Very
I mean,
nice.
cats don't care, but that's
Yeah.
probably fine.
Yeah, this is true.
Francois asked a quick question. I'll answer. And the answer to that question is yes. They were modeled after original feet.
Mhm.
They're the ones with the little Apple icon on them. Is that the ones?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
Mhm. Yep. Thanks to Ron for doing the initial design. I just did a little bit of cleanup on it, and they're under Ron's section on my website.
See, now here's what's so funny. A lot of these things that Joe is like says that about, it's literally the like the opening credits from Garth Marenghi's like Dark Place, where it's like based on tunes hummed by Garth Marenghi. A lot of these ideas are just sort of like, wouldn't it be cool if somebody did this? And then Joe's off like a start.
Hey, you know what?
I'll
Credit
take a
where
shot.
credit's due. Like, if I'm going to monetize somebody else's idea, I'm not going to be a jerk and say, you owe me $57 for my storage unit before I'll give you credit. So, like, credit where credit's due.
What are you all using for 3D modeling these days, software wise?
I am old and stupid and programmatic in thinking. Therefore, I use OpenSCAD. If I need to design something that's not fancy, but if I need to do something fancy, I'll use Tinkercad. Javier, you use Tinkercad, but don't you also use Infusion 360 to do like super fancy things like bevels and things?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
I am a Tinkercad fan just because if I can't recreate all of the graphics from Tron with the built-in tools, I don't want to use it. I don't use it. I mean, you can crank out some light cycles, let me tell you.
Yep. I've recently been using a product called Onshape, which I'll be doing a series of videos coming up soon. One of the things I really like about Onshape, I mean, it's web-based, which of course some people get a little bit funny about. But one of the things I really like about it, it is completely free. And when you export stuff to STL files, it's full high res with no delays. I know that some of the free software, they'll either limit the resolution of the output file, or they will make it so that you get put in a queue and you have to wait for the output unless you go in and pay.
Right.
And Onshape doesn't have any of those sorts of restrictions. It does have some other restrictions, but I will talk about them in my videos in the future.
so stay tuned.
I'm
Awesome
excited.
sauce. All right. Well, I think that's a good place to end it for tonight. Again, thank you everybody in the chat for coming by and watching us be a whole bunch of weirdos on the internet. Most specifically me. Thank you to our two awesome guests, Mike of Mike's Mess and Bruce of Branchus Creations. Always a pleasure to have you guys around. And our hosts again were Trina, Ron, Javier, and me. Why don't we have everybody real quick say where you can be found on the internets and the places before we sign off?
Mike.
Nowhere. I'm hiding.
Hey,
YouTube.
YouTube, Mike's Mess. Yes. Bruce.
Branchus Creations, YouTube, and recapamac.com.au website.
I used Recap-A-Mac today to fix a Mac, so
Oh, wonderful.
awesome resource. Yes.
I use Recap-A-Mac all the time because it's like the quality of the photographs that you have out there are really great when you're trying to explain something to someone. Like, go here and look at this thing. Go to Bruce's website, look at this thing, and it has solved a lot of problems. Like your images, like those pictures of those motherboards, really are just such an invaluable resource. Bruce, thank you.
Oh, you're most welcome. And that was the motivation behind building the site. It was the recapping side of it kind of came afterwards. It was mainly about getting some nice high resolution images of logic boards up on the internet. So.
Which apparently
Really, Ryan?
Mike is funny.
Yeah.
Ryan's comment.
It's the Mac
Oh, okay.
boss of websites.
Yes.
On everything.
Yes. I love Franks too. So,
Trina, where can people find you?
People can find me here on the YouTubes. Trina's Technobabble. You can also find me on Blue Sky under Trina's Technobabble. And if you can and can afford it, feel free to send a channel donation at my coffee account, which is ko-fi.com/Trina's Technobabble, all one word.
How will they know if you don't say https:// www.
Trina.
Like the old days when it was just like, we
Right.
got to be very clear.
and if anyone's having trouble remembering the www, Wild Wild West is a good way of remembering that. Okay.
Yeah.
Ron, where can people find you, sir?
Hey everybody, it's Ron with Ron's Computer Videos. You can find me right here on YouTube, making like videos of various levels of quality. If you want to know about everything else that I'm doing, you can go to ronscompvids.com. And I want to say thank you to everybody that subscribes to me on YouTube. I just crossed 3,500 subscribers. The support means a lot, and it's very validating that at least the 200 or 300 Chinese farm bots that watch my content on a regular basis are enjoying it. So
Javier, where can people find you besides connecting triple zero gauge wire between 12 volts and ground?
Is youtube.com/habmaster, also adventuresinretro.com, and everywhere else, like 8bittees.com. The best t-shirts in the world. That's it. Joe.
Hi, everybody. Joe from Joe's Computer Museum. You can find me for the most part at jcm-1.com, where you can get links to all my social media and stuff. If you really want to try to find me, just look for Joe's Computer Museum or at Museum Joe on all your favorite social media places, and you can yell at me. And depending on your disposition, when you yell at me, I may either yell back or say, "Hi, how are you doing?" Yep. Alrighty. Well, thank you all for stopping by. Thank to our guest, our co-hosts, and to everybody in the chat. It was super duper awesome. Remember, our next show will be on, oh my gosh, April 7th, which our scheduled guest is going to be Thomas from Amiga of Rochester. So that is going to be super fun.
Are we doing a special end of Martintosh on the 31st?
We may be doing one. I do not think it's been like fully decided yet, but we might. So we'll see.
So stay
We'll see.
tuned.
We'll do it Jerry Lewis
Let's-
telethon style to see if we can get across the like.
Yeah,
All
why
right,
not?
we're gonna see if we can get across that donation line. But in any case, the new family singers. Thank you, everybody.
Yes.
And then I go in the back. I do like 6 lines of cocaine. Then I come back out for another 12 hours.
So keep an eye out. We may be doing a special Martintosh wrap up, a roundup, if you will, on the 31st.
Yep.
We will see. So, that's all for tonight. Thank you all, and have a great time, day, night, wherever you are. Bye,
People
everybody.
like
Bye.
Like and subscribe. Click all the buttons.